Omni Lucid presents.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So me and Brian just finished up our first game of Eero. If you are checking this out after watching that live stream, actually I don't think anybody clicked in while we were doing that. So if you just watched the other video, this is our review. We just took a couple minutes to get Brian's camera working, and then two, for us to just collect our thoughts real quick. So we're just going to do a quick review on this. That way you guys can just watch the review if you want, or just watch the playthrough, whatever you want. We'll try and make this one kind of quick. So as I said in the other video, I'll do a quick run back through. So this is for Eero, which is a game that is currently on Kickstarter right now. It is a abstract strategy game. It is running. It's got another 24 days to go. It has already funded. The goal was just under 5,000 US dollars. It's already at 6.5. So it's already funded. It's really cheap for what it is. I mean, it's only $25 US. It's $35 Australian. And it's one that I'm really excited about. So the creator of this game, his name, and again, I said it on the other video, but hopefully I'm not butchering his name too much, is Khanat Sadomwattana. This is his first created one. I think he's using Kickstarter exactly what it's for, and that's to get, projects made, dream projects, and all that. And I honestly think he hit it out of the park with this one. I already really like it. We will also include, the links are included in the playthrough video. I will go back in and include them in this one after we finish. So you can go and check out the Kickstarter and his BGG page whenever you would like to check that out. I highly recommend you do if you like abstract strategy games at all. But yeah, so we'll dive right into this. We'll, like I said, we'll try and keep this one quick. So, Brian, what are your thoughts? Good, bad, everything.
Well, if you wouldn't mind flipping to the, just so people can get the the overall layout here of the game and how simple it is.
Oh, sorry, hang on. I forgot to, got to share my screen real quick here with everybody. There it is. Okay.
All right, so overall, it's a simple setup, which is
super
great.
simple.
And the rules are like one page, so there's not much to have to, I mean, aside from maybe a couple examples that they could give visually, like I can't see this rule book being more than 5 pages long.
Oh no, yeah, I'm gonna try and see. Oh, and you know what, while you were saying that, so I wanted to see if they actually put in the size of the box, and they did. So it says right here, Eero has a very small footprint, weighing in at just 1 pound and a box size of 3.9 by 3.9 by 2.7 inches. So I think I deserve a little, by saying 4 by 4. I said 4 by 4 by 4. So it's a little bit shorter than the 4, but still, the fact that I was right on for that 4 inches, I think I got it. I nailed it.
As far as playing the game, so at first I wasn't sure I liked the colors because one of the reasons being it, in a search for trying to diversify in colors in games, oftentimes you get this smorgasbord of colors, right? And there's not a lot of harmony. There's like Fantasy Brawl is a good example. There's not a lot of harmony in that game, color wise. And so my first instinct was like, ooh, okay, this is kind of rough to look at first. But then I realized, when you're playing the game and you're immersed in the strategy, it's really helpful, because you don't have to, because I initially was thinking, okay, well, maybe if the colors were grayed a little bit or just a little more, not so like bright and in your face. But as soon as you start playing the game and you start like looking at just like, okay, the strategy opens up with, here are my chits, here are the colors, here, where can I go? What can I do with it? Whose piece can I take? All of a sudden you're concerned about all these other things, and the color actually ends up being helpful in being able to quickly identify, where you want to go and how you're going to get there. So, you know, I'm not making really a criticism, but in that I'm like, I thought I was going to make a criticism, but you know, once playing the game, it was like, oh, okay, I just got sucked right into it, and then the color didn't matter, and it's actually really helpful more than anything. So, you know, as far as the strategy goes, there's just a lot of variability, and it packed into such a small game just by having chits that like are uneven, and having the board laid out the way it is, and the fact that the board is composed of separate tiles that you can flip around as opposed to just one board is all.
Yeah, it adds in that variability,
I really
so you can change up the game every time, very easy and quickly. I mean, it's a very small thing because it's literally just 4 colors, but if you switch every one of these 4 colors, you know, it changes that. Okay, your board is brand new. One thing I was going to say, I didn't want to cut you off though, so you didn't lose your train of thought, is with the color, I think we should mention to everyone that maybe hasn't watched our channel before, is that Brian is a classically trained artist, so he focuses on color probably a little bit more than everybody else. Because when you said that you were worried about the color, I love the color, and as soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh yeah, bright, very distinct colors that are easy to see, and that. But yeah, I can see from your point of view as an.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I can see from your point of view as an artist being like, "Oh my God, it's just so much in your face." So
yeah, there are games I won't. There are games I won't buy because of that.
Okay, yeah. So that's a bias that I think we need to point out for people.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? To be fair, I have heard that bias. I've heard other people say that who aren't artists. Like if colors are garish, like they won't buy it. And but as far as this goes, like the colors aren't garish. They're just intense. It's high contrast color.
Right.
And you know, and it can you know, and your eyes can, it's like, oh man, you know, it's doing a number on your eyes. But again, that just fades away as soon as you start playing, which you know, because of the strategy element of it. So it's something that, like, maybe on the surface, if you're looking at it and color is an important thing to you, don't let that dissuade you from the game. Like I ended up really liking it. So
good. Another thing about the color, and I know we're sticking on this for a little bit, and we'll get past color in just a moment here. But again, in the other video, we had mentioned how they are working on, or he is working on. He wanted to make sure that this was colorblind friendly, which right away I am colorblind, so I definitely appreciate the thought on that. For one, these, which they made an update, and apparently these are green. These look black to me. So you know, which, not that it matters, because it's not like there's another green and or black on here that's even close to that, so it already wasn't an issue. But the fact that he's thinking about it already, it's like, oh, you know, thanks for doing that. So that's what, when Brian was flipping his tile here, so on the other side you can see that there is now an orange and purple, right? That's not blue, right? Purple. Yeah, so orange, purple, yellow, and red. So again, now, as you guys just heard right there, to me, this is hard to distinguish between purple and blue because it is very similar to this. When I put them right next to each other, I can tell they're different. It's hard for me to tell purple and blue. But anyway, so this is already something that he has thought about and he's working on as far as for colorblind people. So that's just kind of a nice added little touch, something that you know, not everybody thinks about. So, you know, definitely appreciated. Okay, so Brian kind of touched on the art. Like I said, I already overall liked it. So let's real quick, just to make this, I guess, short and sweet, give me your top things that you liked about it. All right, you know what? Let's end on the high note. How about any things that you didn't like about it?
No, nothing that really stood out. Nothing that lingered as I played at all.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if anything, it might be too quick of a game. But again, we were playing it just to show the game off. I think if it might take longer if I was like really determined to win and really thinking about my strategy, you know. So, you know, and that's also like a benefit as well, that like a game that I once you pick up can go from being a really quick playthrough to having, you know, something that you can really take your time and think about.
Hmm.
You know, there is, if you can just jump in, you can overcome the analysis paralysis and just to get the feel of the game. So yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing that really stood out right away. I feel like I'd have to play a bunch of more times maybe to pick something out that could be tweaked or something. But overall, I think it's a really solid game. Really core, you know, the core mechanics are very solid. There's nothing finicky. Well, you
Yep.
know, just great design overall.
Yeah, and I agree. There's nothing on here that bothers me. I don't even have the color issue, so nothing about it bothers me. I think as you said, you know, as far as it being too quick of a game, I think that was just because in our playthrough, one, we were learning it, because even by our third game, you know, like we were already thinking and looking ahead more, like, well, if I go there, then this piece is going to take me there, and well, but you know, we started getting more into that mindset of the, you know, the chess mindset of thinking ahead to, you know, a few moves to try and like plan around and see what you were going to do and all that stuff. So I have no doubt that this will become a very thinky game if we
Mhm.
start getting into, okay, well, I'm going to go here and try and tempt you to take this piece because I really want to get over here and distract you, or I want to get your piece, or, you know, wherever that may lead.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
know,
oh, I was gonna say,
I
yeah, I agree. I don't see any flaws right now. And again, like I started to say at the beginning of this video, I think he knocked it out of the park for his first game. It's super simple, and yet so like it drew me in right away. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that sounds like it'd be fun. And then I tried it out on TTS here, and I was like, oh yeah, it's extremely simple. I'll even go so far as to say this. One of the reasons that I think I like this game so much is that I honestly kind of kicked myself in the butt. Like, man, I wish I would have thought of this. Anytime a game makes me think, I wish I would have thought of this, like, that's a good game. That's a game that I want to own. If I think, God dang it, like, I really wish I would have thought of this, because it's so simple and yet so fun. So that might be the highest compliment I can give it. We'll see by the time we get to the end of this video. But but right now, I'm just like looking at this, like, man, I wish I would have thought of this.
Yeah,
Um,
I have played games like that where you just get upset at yourself.
yeah,
That
yep.
like, why didn't? But you know, I can see this game being a classic hit. One of those, like, you know, in the realm of like Uno, and you know,
Oh
like
yeah.
games like become like modern staples. Like you see them on the shelf.
I mean,
You know, it's
it
a quick pickup game. You know, and
right off
it,
the bat, simple, super simple mechanics and rules. Very easy to identify with the bright colors and patterns and all that.
mhm.
Very quick to play. Small box. Low price. This is something that not only is it all those things, but this is also something that you could easily use for kids. This is a great teaching game for teaching young kids, like, hey, colors, learn your colors. Hey, you can move your piece to these colors. You know, I mean, it's just all around. I would not be surprised if this becomes like the next big thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
maybe that's even a nicer compliment than the one
This
before. But yeah,
this
no,
is you
I
should
would
be
not
able
be
to pick up
surprised
at
at all.
Target. This is something you should definitely be able to pick up at Target. Yeah, this just
Oh,
feels like a game that's like,
I
yeah.
guarantee. I wouldn't be very shocked if this doesn't end up in department stores and all that and just easily accessible. But yeah. Okay, so so we went from any bad things into all these great things about this game, which again is a great sign. Is there anything that we haven't said so far that you want to point out as especially things you liked about it?
No, no, I think that
I mean,
covers
I'm going
it.
to come back up here unless you want to go back to that, but just
Yeah.
so. Um, yeah, anything else that you want to touch on as far as? No, you're all good.
Yeah, I think that covers it. It's short and sweet, and you could knock out a couple games, 3 4
We,
games
yep.
in a fun afternoon, and have a good time with it, and go traveling with it, and just throw it in your pack, and you know, not have to worry. So yeah, you know, great little game. Nice find.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy I saw this. I've actually been on a hiatus. I told myself I wasn't going to purchase or back any new games for 6 months.
Huh.
And I was doing good for like 3 months, and then I broke that because there's a bunch of sales that happened for a bunch of Viking games. And then Kickstarters, I backed one other one that was cheap and shipping out quick, and then this popped up, and I cannot miss this. It right away drew me in.
Dude,
So I'm
after Witcher, I was like, yeah, I gotta take a break myself. I was like, okay,
Yep.
let's hold
Yep.
up a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting low on shelf space is a big one, because I'm like, I got a lot of big Kickstarters coming in, and I just got this new shelf and it's already pretty much full, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have to start selling them. But anyway, that's going off on a tangent. On Eero, um, so I'm gonna go in depth a little bit on things that I liked. As obviously I've already said a bunch of them, and we've said a bunch of them, and it's it is. Sorry, I'm moving this over here real quick so I can look and see everything at once. I think it's a great game as far as all the reasons why I said it's going to be a classic. Small box, does not take up a lot of shelf space. This is going to be a game. I have kind of our little small games in a completely different place that are not on this shelf. I don't have any, I don't think. I have a couple small games over here, but most of all my small games are upstairs, and they're in our little ottoman that also doubles as a storage space. That's where pretty much all my small games are at, because they're quick, they're easy to pull out, they're easy to play. I guarantee this is going to end up there. I'll probably have it down here for a little bit so people can see it during future videos, but I love the small box behind it. The price is cheap. He's planning to deliver pretty quickly, and again, it probably shouldn't take too long for production on all this. I can definitely see this being a classic. As I said, one great for teaching kids that, I mean, I can't even imagine this would be a starter. This will be a starter game, I think, for most kids,
Yeah.
being in stores. You said something that made me think. Shoot, what you made a comment where I was like, oh, I definitely want to touch on that.
When I was talking about like it just being like something that you should find in like Target or something.
Oh, that's what I was. Not that, but that did remind me. Thank you. This is definitely a great filler game. If you're somebody that has game nights regularly, and in between setting up, your next big game, this is something that you could easily have on a little side table and say, hey, while I'm setting up my next game of Alter Quest over here, that's going to take a minute, why don't you guys play a couple games of Eero? We got through 3 games in 35 minutes.
Yeah, what kind do you want to play in between your games? This
Yeah.
is the one.
Yeah, this is a filler game for anybody in the board game community. When I see that question asked, what are some great filler games? This is it. This is one of those great filler games that is fun. It's thinky. It can take longer, I'm sure, if you want it to take longer, or it can be super quick. You can play speed rounds, no problem.
It makes me think of Saitama. Only time it's like simple yet deep. At the same time, and just as far as like planning out what you're gonna do as far as just abstract strategy goes. Yeah, it kind of gives me that feel, and Onitama would be is a fun little filler game as well. So.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely. What else was I gonna say? Obviously, honestly, I can't say enough good things about this. I'm really happy that I backed it. I'm once again, I'm really hoping that a lot of people go and check it out. It's a game that we kind of already mentioned. Another question that I usually ask during our reviews is this a game that you would play again? We both already kind of answered that yes, we would definitely play this again. And I think play regularly. You would definitely, I feel like anybody is going to get their $25 out of this game. And, as we've been talking about it, we were talking about the acrylic pieces in the other video, that he's looking into potentially moving it into acrylic pieces as opposed to cardboard, and for the chits and the actual tiles and everything. Even if he did go with acrylic and boosted the price a little bit, I'm not going to pay $50 for this. I might pay $50 for this just because I really like it, but I would rather not pay $50 for this. But if he went acrylic and bumped it up to like 35, I'm still in for that. I would honestly still be in at 35, even with it being a simple or more simple game. But but yeah, so already about to that 20-minute mark. I wanted to keep this at 15, so we already missed that mark. But overall, like I said, I will put the links in the descriptor below. But it is called Eero, IRO. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's got 24 days left. Go check it out. Jump in there. I mean, it's $25. It's that's not a lot. He does have a couple other pledges here. He has the supporter for the $1 if you want. And then he also has a pledge for if you want 2 boxes of Eero. So honestly, Brian, if you want to do this, maybe we should do this if you want a copy. So you can get 1 box for $25 US, or you can get 2 games for $43. So you get a little discount if you even want to get to. Honestly, you know what?
You want to grab that, and I'll just throw you one.
You know what? I was honestly gonna say, well, yeah, if you want, I can do that. I was gonna say, if not, then I would buy one and go ahead and maybe we'll do like another giveaway with a purchase of Eero. But yeah, if you want it, definitely, I'll go ahead and grab it, and we'll both have a copy. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll kind of finish this up now with that. Overall, Eero looks great. We both, it sounds like it's a OmniLucid approved. Maybe one day if we have like an OmniLucid award thing, we could, like, hey, OmniLucid approved. There's your sticker. But yeah, no, this one, it does everything I'm looking for. I really hope everyone checks it out. Definitely let us know in the comments what you think. Any of your favorite abstract strategy games. We do, like I said, we also have the playthrough video if you want to watch me and Brian get through 3 games in only 35 minutes. You can see kind of how it plays. But yeah, other than that, we will see you guys next time. We got more videos coming out very soon. Please check them out. All the usual things: like, share, subscribe, comment. I don't know, everything. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.